Welcome back, Stack Attack Squad, to the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast, your one-stop shop to dominate fantasy baseball and football. Come get some.
Yo, what's up? It's the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Trella. With me, as always, is my boy, Trader Andy. What's going on, my dude?
What's going on, bro? How you been?
I don't know, man. We've been talking fantasy sports all day long, both football and baseball. So we figured we'd invite our wives in and maybe Pig Bird and one or two other people. So, we're up to two. There we are, both wives.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers, ladies.
Yeah, I've been trying all week to avoid injury. I'm working on my Icky Shuffle for this weekend. I just gave you a little quick preview that will be.
I need to see it now. Let's go now.
We're going live.
Let's go. I'm going to take you viral. Show me some cold cuts
on Facebook Live this weekend. We're going to find out if I'm bringing another little monster to the world, or a beautiful baby, or a girl. But I'm hoping another boy. But as long as it's healthy. What?
You just publicly declared for a preference?
Yeah. Well, I just need to keep my namesake going a little longer. So there she is.
You're in trouble.
Show the world.
All right, let's go. What do we got?
Get some cold cuts. We'll get some cold cuts. Woo! It's horrible. Let's get some. I got some work to do.
That was the worst moment in the history of audio. But a great moment in video. So kudos to you for that, man. That was great, dude. Is Icky Woods still like 400 pounds?
Yeah, he looks like he's been eating too many cold cuts. Processed food is not good. Well, there goes. Our two listeners have both checked in. Thank you, ladies. We love you both.
Ladies in the house, but there's a third, and it must be Pig Bird. It's got to be Pig Bird. Pig Bird, if it's you, identify yourself.
All right, it's probably a Russian bot, but
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Well, obviously, we're only rolling with two people here today. I did not get any breaking news that there's any Facebook Live items up for sale. Last week I got the invite that Nick was trying to sell something at 9:15 during our 9:00 podcast about chandeliers.
Yeah, what did the chandelier go for? Like $15?
Well, it was going for 20 or best offer. I said I will give you $4 and I want it delivered because I only live a quarter mile from him. I'm still waiting for it. I didn't get a tracking number, so I don't know where it is, but it's $4. I don't know where it is. Where are you, Nick?
Dude, the $4 is better than the $0 an hour plus zero benefits that we pay him. So, I mean, can you blame the kid?
Exactly. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, for those that are here for the fantasy baseball content, Nick is not with us. He may pop in at some point if he awakes from his beauty sleep, but we figured he fell asleep on the broadcast last week, so we just give him the week off and tell him to take a nap. Andy, what is going on?
I'm bleeding. I did the Icky Shuffle, and I'm bleeding my own blood. I don't know what happened.
How did you hurt your knee? You didn't even touch the ground.
I don't know.
You didn't throw anything?
Just landing on it just caused it to bleed.
You didn't land.
Oh man.
My
All right.
God.
It's going to be a long one.
This is horrible. This is the worst moment in the history of podcasting.
Well, I'm definitely going to be...
Trevor, edit out first 5 minutes. This is horrible. All right, so let's chat about some baseball here before the girls go. Say goodbye.
Well, first of all, you're a gambling man. What are you doing for Sunday?
The Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, that thing that's going on Sunday.
Oh no, Sunday's all about the Puppy Bowl, bro. The Puppy Bowl and the gender reveal. Like the game is number 3.
Yeah, I'm going.
So,
I think I'm going to go on heads for the coin toss this year.
Okay, heads never fails. I don't know.
I went tails last year and I lost. Remember?
That's actually the best odds on the board at minus 104. That's the best you can go. So, Chrissy wants us to bet on Team Rough. That's highly illegal. You cannot bet on the Puppy Bowl.
I'm sure we can find some kind of offshore
Sucker?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Thick Neck Tony from Great Kills. No, he's not taking action on the Puppy Bowl, bro.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm rooting for Bengals, so let's go Bengals. All right.
Bengals. How can you do that? Oh, dude, we both root for terrible football team. We both root for terrible football teams, and the Bengals have been more terrible more recently than both the Jets and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So they figured it out and got to the Super Bowl. Our teams are light years away from it. Like, how can you root for them? I'm a Stafford guy. I always root for Stafford, man. He's one of my favorites ever since he broke his arm and came back in and threw a touchdown pass on that NFL Films game. So I'm a big Stafford guy. Cooper Kupp won me a lot of money this year, a lot of leagues. So
yeah,
I got a trade offer coming in.
What?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Cool.
Just popped up. All right, so I'm definitely here. Here's the thing: is you got Von Miller and Aaron Donald, and the Bengals have the worst offensive line possibly in the league. So he's going to be in trouble. You know, Burrow's going to be under fire the whole game. I can't see them containing this. You know, if Mixon has a big game, and the Bengals, do you really think Eli Apple's going to do anything? Come on, man. The Bengals secondary is terrible. The Rams throw the ball like better than anybody, and they rush the passer against the Swiss cheese defense. It's Rams -4 all day long for me, and coin flip is tails, heads, whichever, -104.
Yeah, it's got to be one of them. All right, that's enough about football. What else we got going on?
Awesome. So the lockout. You look upset.
I was going to say something before we even got into baseball. The Knicks did not make any moves today. I'm very upset with the big thing that sent Harden to Philly. I was hoping that Julius Randle would be gone, but he's stuck with us for another couple of months. I hate him. All right, and now we talk baseball.
Yeah, basketball is a joke. That trade's a joke. The money's a joke. But whatever. All right. So the commissioner announced today, he was expected to announce a delay to spring training. And he went into his news conference and said quite the opposite and gave it a vote of confidence that the season should start on time, even if there is a delay to spring training. So that's kind of feeling like a good thing. You're getting a little bit more excited hearing that.
Yeah, until it happens, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Well, I'm expecting the one good thing that came out is today they basically said the universal DH is a lock.
All right, both sides agreed to it. So
yeah,
I kind of like it. I've long always been a National League purist. I love to watch small ball. I always preferred a 2-1 game over a 9-7 game. I like good pitching. I like to watch bunting. Sacrifice flies are awesome. Where are you at? This is better for fantasy, right?
Obviously. No one wants to see a pitcher go up there and hit unless you're, Jacob deGrom, Noah Syndergaard, those type of players, or guys like that. But you don't want to see it, and you don't want to see the pitchers running the bases and getting hurt like the Yankee pitcher a couple years back. And it's just better for baseball. Just put them out there, let them pitch. And I'm excited. There's definitely going to be those catchers that will get the extra days behind the plate. You got the couple batters who are awful in the field, like we're going to discuss a little later, like Marcell Ozuna and your boy Seth Lightbeer. He's probably going to get a chance at DH as well because he doesn't really have a position. So it's definitely going to help some people in the positive.
All right. I could take that. I don't know. I'm torn on it. I'm not in love with it. The one thing I heard today too, which is actually surprising, which is why this is a good thing for the lockout. Did you know that the American League DH is the highest paid position in all of baseball? That's pretty surprising, right?
I was not aware of that.
So
Interesting.
DHs make more money on average
Yeah.
than any other position. And I think the reason for that is because it's usually a veteran player that's your quote unquote DH.
Yeah.
So, even pitchers, you got some pitchers that are making $30-40 million a year, but there's other pitchers that are, making 500,000. So it kind of balances it all out. But the average salary of DHs in the American League is higher than any other position in baseball. Pretty surprising right there.
Definitely.
Any players overall that you think will get a little boost? You just mentioned Seth Beer. Anybody else that you're kind of on board with getting a boost for fantasy?
Maybe Robbie Cano.
Okay.
Possibly
Nice.
if he doesn't get bought out, which I don't think is going to happen at this point. But I think that his fielding skills a couple years later have diminished even more. And I think, he's still a good bat as long as he's on the juice, which we're going to lead into our next segment on that because you said
we'll get there in a minute.
Yeah. So, there's no testing for the juice, so he could be on the loose.
All right. I think Kyle Schwarber is going to benefit from this. Maybe not for fantasy, but personally, because now teams like, he's been rumored to have talked to the Phillies. He's been rumored to talk to the Rockies. These teams are all in play now. So he has so many more suitors. I think he's somebody that'll plop in, and some teams might use him as a leadoff hitter. Others will use him in the 4 or 5 spot. So there's some definite fantasy value there either way. But my guy, I said it 2-3 weeks ago, real deep sleeper for the Cubs. Harold Ramirez is just my guy. And I think he benefits from this. 85th percentile on average exit velocity, 94th percentile max exit velocity, 81st percentile on hard hit rate, and an 88th percentile on sprint speed. So this is a guy that brings a little bit of everything to the table. That DH spot in Chicago, they may spend some money. They may look at Anthony Rizzo. They may look at other free agents. Castellanos as a possibility, maybe even looking for some trade options.
Well, you got to realize
if they keep the salary down and Ramirez has an opportunity to play, this is somebody you're going to get at the back of your draft for free that has the ability to make an impact, like my Yandy Diaz call from a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, that was a good one. Obviously, people have to realize that there's still part of the offseason that's going to take underway once the lockout goes away. So, I mean, right now, just looking for shits and giggles, and I looked on Roster Resource before, and they actually have Ramirez starting in outfield, and they have Clint Frazier at DH for the Cubs.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things got to happen.
So that Frazier's another one that his playing time is almost guaranteed with the DH. So definitely, those are 2 great options at the end of your draft, especially if you're in a 15 teamer, standard 30 rounds. Make it happen. Fire these guys up, right? Fire them up.
Yeah, that's number 2. All right.
So the other thing too with the universal DH, the NL pitchers take a hit because 10% of their, maybe 8% to 8 to 10% of their batters faced for a starting pitcher is the pitcher. So do we that used to be a thing for me, not so much recently. I would always take the guy in the NL over the guy in the AL to break a tie. Is that something to look at?
I don't know if it's going to really put in too much value into it. So
downgrade your Marlins starters. All right, but you just started talking about the other end of it is right now they're not testing for PEDs. That's very interesting.
Beautiful.
I am not an expert on PEDs based on my 140-pound playing weight.
That way.
You are a resident PED advisor.
I think I'm the first one in the world. Yeah.
Can someone cycle on, get off of it, be clean on time for when they start testing again, and when the testing resumes, be clean, come out, and get an advantage out of that? Like,
I believe so.
Or do you have to be cycling in order to
but there's
get
ways,
the advantage?
There's ways to mask the tests. So there's ways that you can get around it. And if you're Ramon Laureano, obviously you need to do some PEDs, or you're not going to be in the major leagues. Because I just don't know what is true. He's like the one person that I just don't know. Obviously, you have to realize steroids does not make you hit better. Okay, you still have to have the great hand-to-eye contact skills that Barry Bonds had. Okay, if you hit the ball, it's going to go farther. Okay, but you also have to realize that the biggest point of this is when it's 100 degrees out and everybody's tired, you won't be, because you recover faster on the cycle. And that's, you're not going to feel weak one day. You're just going to be ready to go while everyone else is struggling. You will be there, amped up and ready to go. So that's the biggest thing with the PEDs.
That's interesting. That's the first time I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious. I want to go back and look at Sammy Sosa and McGuire and Bonds and see how many of their home runs came late in the game.
Yeah.
Third time through the order for the pitcher. That's interesting, man.
Or a day game after a night game. There's another thing. People are dragging ass and Bonds is hitting bombs. I think I'm the first resident PED person in the industry, and I love
you are the PED expert in the industry. That's awesome.
I love it.
We have to capitalize on that.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So do you think there's going to be a Todd Hundley 50 home run season this year? Like, is that going to happen? Something like that? Or no, we're probably overthinking this.
We're overthinking it. I don't think there's going to be, at this point, I don't think there's going to be a full season. So I don't think there's going to be 50 home runs. So I actually think that we're going to probably miss a month. And it's just every day.
Ouch.
Every day is just.
Well, what Manfred said today was, they're probably not starting by, I think it was the 16th, which is less than a week from now. They were supposed to report.
Yeah.
So it's probably closer to March 1st. So I think these teams are kind of, on their players and like, get your ass, simulating games and everything for now. Usually they throw their first outing, 30, 40 pitchers, because that's all they're concerned about is the pitching. Get yourself ready for your first outing in spring is going to be a 5-inning outing, and we're going to ramp up quickly, which might lead to injuries. But I think that they could curtail spring training from 6 weeks to 4 and still give us almost a full season. Maybe lose a week.
Okay.
So,
and the performances might not be there either, because some of them might be rusty to get down to game time.
All right. Well, as we wait for gameplay to come back, the news cycle is quite slow. But there's a lightning rod out there that we could lead off with, and that's my dude, which I could potentially be canceled by the next 5 minutes for supporting Trevor Bauer. It came out in the Los Angeles court system that he will not face any charges. He still is subject to investigation by MLB, which my only concern for his return in a timely fashion is that Manfred could care less about investigating right now because he's busy with the lockout information and all that. So I think Bauer's on the back burner and all. But even if it's a month into the season, I trust his ability to get ready. He's probably ready right now more than anybody else in the league to go out and throw 9 innings right now, because that's who he is, and his preparation is better than anybody's. But I said it, I think on our first baseball pod of the year, was he's one of the smartest guys in the game. He's got the resources because he's, a $40 million $40 million a year pitcher. He knew what he was getting into. His lawyers kept him well informed, and they knew that he was not going to be facing charges. Obviously, what comes from Manfred is what's going to come from Manfred. We don't know yet, but he knew this is what was coming. That's why he was calling himself on social media the 2022 Cy Young winner, right?
Doesn't lack any kind of doubt in his mind. He's ready to roll.
Yes.
Now the question is, all right, so some leagues I'm in actually put a ban on him, and you're not allowed to draft him. Okay.
What kind of crap is that?
Yeah.
Dude, you should quit that league right now. Right now. That is the stupidest crap I've ever heard.
Well, it's one league, and it's preference, I guess. In every other league, me and you have him in every other league, and we're getting him in the 200 to 300s. So we're about to cash on everything.
I'm so offended that you have a league that said that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
I can't believe that.
No, that's that big dynasty league that they called me a ringer, and I took a 60-round league. It's all sports writers. It's all writers from.
Did anybody say anything after it came out that he did not do anything wrong?
Nothing.
And that the woman is full of shit? Like,
she might be full of something else too, but
oh my God.
But yeah, how many people are actually how many people are actually not drafting him and passing on free money?
Well, his ADP in the last 2 days since the announcement came out has gone from in the 300s up to 186. So it's fixing itself. So by the time we get to TGFBI in what is it, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2.5 weeks. You're gonna have to look at round 10 or better if you want him. So, but I'll take him. He's a second round talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do a quick exercise here, right?
All right.
So let's assume that he's on the mound for the first week of the season as a Los Angeles Dodger. Do you want him or Brandon Woodruff?
I want him.
Right. So he's a second round talent right now.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. And if he misses a month because of the investigation and everything like that, you pick up somebody. If you're in a 12-team league, you pick up Rowan Wick and pop him in there.
Yeah.
For a month and a half, and then you got a piece of trade bait. Come on, man. This is free money. And, now as people are starting to watch, and our amount of people watching has multiplied by 5 in the last 10 minutes. we're about to be canceled for it, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's what's your take on the Dodgers rotation? Obviously, Walker Buehler was a big conversation piece for us today in a trade. Didn't happen. Urias is the man in Dynasty. He's an SP1 if you're doing a Dynasty startup right now. I like Gonsolin. I'm taking him late, but other than that,
he's getting a lot of. Well, when's Dustin May gonna be back?
Late.
Yeah.
Late. Almost the whole season.
Oh, okay. All right.
And he may be in a relief role when he comes back,
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. He's not going to come back and go right into the rotation. So I mean, who else do we have? You got a guy I think that's gonna be better this year, and I know you probably hate him, Andrew Heaney.
Yeah, he's bad. I don't know. They have to know something that I don't know.
He's only 30 years old.
Only
Yeah. I feel like he's been around forever.
has he ever had a sub-4 ERA ever?
I don't know, but
No.
it's in LA now.
Right. And there's always the lingering Clayton Kershaw issue. You know, he's still a free agent.
I don't think he's
I
going to sign there.
I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's coming back. He'll be somewhere.
Texas, I think.
Yeah.
He lives there. But yeah, the pitching a year ago was very, very deep, and now it's not. I mean, they still have David Price lingering around there.
That's true. Yeah.
A guy that's in the minor leagues right now that you could fire up is Bobby Miller. He's ready to go. He's on the verge of putting in some quality innings. So, I mean, but then again, they have lots of money and the preseason.
Well, none of this affects Trevor Bauer, which is what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Because if the Dodgers put him on the active roster, he's their SP1 right off the bat. You know, I mean, SP1.2, you know, him and Bueller, you know, personal preference there, but Bauer's the better pitcher.
Yeah.
It's possible he gets traded. It's possible that, you know, they don't want to take the PR hit, which I don't understand, but
sounds like the Mets will jump right in there.
Listen, if you're drafting in the next 2 to 3 weeks, like I am several times, you take Trevor Bauer in the top 10 rounds. I don't care. Like, this guy's a second round talent. And if you take him in the 10th round and God forbid something wacky happens, and that's the thing is this man missed like 60, 70 games last year.
Yeah.
Like, even if they decide to suspend him, it'll be time served, you know, get back on the field. Like that's what it is. Like, he's already done his freaking penance, whatever.
Yeah.
Fire up Bauer, top 10 rounds, make it happen.
Absolutely.
And enjoy him, enjoy Yelich, enjoy Bellinger. These guys are all making a comeback. Everybody that was on my TGFBI team last year, in the top 3 rounds, will be studs.
Except for Alberto Mondesi. Cross him off the list.
Yeah, that guy's dead. All right, let's go stay in the same division, but we're going to talk about a guy that is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Let's talk about Dan Straley for a second. When COVID first hit,
that guy's alive?
Dude, that's my dude, man. That's my dude.
All right.
Yeah, you know, like, me and you took an interest in the KBO, and it got to the point where we were winning cash games in DFS day after day after day. It was free money. KBO.
Got a hat.
I pray it's there. We might. I mean, if baseball's delayed, that might be. Yeah, I got to do some Bears. Whatever, man. So Dan Straley was actually he played 2 years for the Latte Giants. Okay. Last year he led the league in strikeouts, but the year before he had maybe the best year a pitcher in the KBO ever had. 250 ERA, 102 WHIP, and 200 plus strikeouts, which was unheard of for a local player, an international player. It never had happened before. It's the best year they've ever seen. He signed a minor league contract this year due to the lockout, because right now free agency is locked, so you can only sign minor league contracts. And if you were making $900,000 in Korea last year and you were a star and you got offered an opportunity to come back stateside for the same money on a minor league deal to play in Arizona, where it's beautiful year round, with a pretty much locked up opportunity for a rotation spot, wouldn't you take it? I would.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. See, the thing with Straley was in 2019, he had a problem with the long ball. He gave up over 4 home runs per 9, but the last 2 years in Korea, both years were under 1 home run per 9. Obviously, it's a different player pool and different talent level that you're playing against. But obviously, he's not, making starts in Coors Field. But he fixed it and he got it down to 0.5, I think, last year and 0.7 the year before. So the problems he was having with his slider, which was his best pitch when he was still in the MLB, it seems like he fixed it. So maybe there's an opportunity for a pretty decent starting pitcher there. Yeah, his ADP is after bench rounds. In 15-team leagues, 30 rounds, he's not getting drafted. I mean, he's only been stateside for a week, so that should probably change. But this is a guy, I watched a lot of KBO baseball, and it's pretty exciting, and there's a lot to be excited about here, man. I'm firing up Dan Straley. Make it happen.
Waking up at 3:30 in the morning.
I mean, if you're in a draft champions league, like we've done so many of, 50 round drafting holds, he's a must get on your team because there's such a high ceiling in a league with a bench, 7-round bench. Maybe your last player, he's worth a flyer, somebody to watch on the waiver wire. If you're in a league like we are with Skidoo, where there's no bench, he's not going to make your top 9 pitchers.
Speaking of somebody that won't be on the waiver wire, what about that guy right there, man?
Oh, I see a blurb.
Jeremy Giambi.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anything come out about what happened yet?
They're saying suicide.
Oh, that's disgusting. That hurts my heart. That hurts my heart, man.
Yeah.
He was a fantasy riser at one point. He was his first couple of years, he was an exciting player. Mostly because he could run a little bit more than his brother, but we all thought he was going to be the next coming of his brother, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was, he's probably his, his best year. I mean, he was an on-base guy. He was more like that, but he was, you saw a lot about him in the Moneyball in that movie. He was obviously a partier. He didn't care about he says he didn't care about the Jason get more money than him and everything. But I mean, his best year, he was, he had 20 home runs, career 263 hitter, 377 on base. He was okay. I definitely had a lot of his rookie cards thinking I was going to cash in, but that did not happen.
He was on the negative end of one of the most famous plays in history. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the Jeter.
Yeah, the Jeter flip.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He should have slid.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Coach Smith probably lost his shit. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
JFK High School, Jerry Smith. He's sword. Dude, do you know? I mean, this is out of left field. Sorry, but Coach Smith, the one day we were in practice, and one of the guys that was one of our bench players, slid funny into second base, and we were all at our positions in the field and everything like that. And he was embarrassed at how this guy on our team slid. He made us all stop what we were doing and slide 5 times right at our position. I'm sitting there on first base with my glove, sliding into first base. What a joke. Huh?
In practice?
In practice.
All right. I thought it was a game. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been a whole nother story, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
So let's go local now, man. Let's talk about the New York Yankees. There's rumors now that they're interested in Freddie Freeman, and I'm guessing Nick is still asleep because I figured when we mentioned Mr. Freeman and the Yankees, that's when he would wake up, but no sign.
No
sign.
You know what? Until we see the Braves pass, we'll see what happens. I don't see it happening. I don't. I think, the Braves are corporate America. They're actually owned by a corporate company, and they just won a World Series. They have cash coming out all over. He just wants one more year. He wants the 6th year, and you just won them World Series. He should get it. As far as I know, he's gonna come back to the Braves until he doesn't. And you could see him go to the Dodgers. You could see him go to the Yankees. I mean, there's going to be some teams that are going to be lining up for him. I actually think once he finds a spot, then Matt Olson will. I think he's going to be the next player you pivot to, who's going to cost you a little bit in trade, but the
right. Olson's a trade partner, not a free agent.
Yeah, and they're basically going to trade the entire team. So once somebody misses out on Freeman, then someone's going to overpay for Olson. So,
right. Well, I have to also think that the fact that it seems like in this collective bargaining agreement that the draft pick compensation for lost free agents is probably going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
They can't let Freeman walk and get nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because that would be a first, second round sandwich pick that they would get, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I just, the Braves don't have that great of a farm system, so they definitely need all the help they can get. But we'll see what happens. I just, thank God Nick's not here. So, because everybody's going to the Yankees. But it's not like that anymore. It's everyone going to the Mets now. But you have to realize one of the person that could help with the DH, and I forgot to bring this up before, is Max Muncy. He's a person who is having problems with his elbow. They're not sure he can play through it, but obviously putting him at DH and letting him recover that way while he hits 36 homers into the lake out there in San Francisco and calling people out on it. I love that call when he's like, remember when he hit that off of
go get it out of the ocean.
Yeah, that was awesome. So
RotoWare made T-shirts of that.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely,
pretty awesome.
Absolutely. So I think that would be an ideal spot for him to DH there and someone else play first base. So it's either going to be someone like Freeman that comes in, or they might trade for Olson, or you never know. So
yeah, it's the Dodgers. You're right.
Yeah.
There's just one thing about this, though. I know he's a world-class athlete, and he's got the medical staff of the Los Angeles Dodgers and all of MLB behind him. Dude, I have a torn UCL right now, which is the injury he has. It's in my non-throwing elbow. I can't lift this glass of water with that hand. Like, I don't use my right arm for anything at all right now because it hurts so goddamn much. And, I go every 6 months for a cortisone shot because I don't want to have surgery. It's a miserable experience. And this guy has not had surgery, so he's going through the same crap. He's just got better drugs and physical therapy than I do. So,
yeah.
I crossed him off my draft board. I'm just not doing it.
I have zero shares.
Yeah, I'll just continue to take Rhys Hoskins, getting drafted after him instead. No problem.
Take anybody after him at this point.
Right. Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Braves farm system. So where are we at with their outfield situation? Because it's kind of murky. I mean, Acuna looks like he's going to be back, maybe a couple weeks late. Duvall was a stud late last year, a lot of pop. But they're saying now Marcell Ozuna is going to come back and he's going to play.
Yeah.
He's going to play. The manager so much has said, I don't care about anything else except for the fact that he can get into the batter's box and hit home runs. So is Pache and Waters, are they an afterthought for fantasy this year?
They're not looking to those people right now. Waters had a bad year. His bat took a nosedive. Pache came up and struggled mightily. He's a Gold Glove outfielder right now, but he has zero offense right now. So you're looking at right now Acuna, Duvall, and then you have two guys who, last year at the trade deadline, they went out and picked up all these corner outfielders. So you still have, get off my Jock Peterson, who is currently free agent, but I hear they're going to bring him back.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah. And
That's
then
interesting.
And then another guy, Eddie Rosario, who they had as well. So he might actually come back as well. So I don't think, their best outfielder right now in the minor leagues is Michael Harris, and he still needs a little more seasoning, probably another year or so. So I think with the free agency coming around, I think they're going to look that way to upgrade.
Yo, let me tell you something though. Freddie Freeman is a hot button topic. I'm looking at his his home run chart. If you take his 31 home runs last year in Atlanta, all stadiums, and put him in Yankee Stadium, 42 home runs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's aware of that. Pretty sure he knows that. So
yeah. And the Yankees,
I don't think there's a hometown discount, bro.
No, I don't think so. But I think the Yankees definitely need a lefty bat as well. But I don't feel inclined to talk about the Yankees with Nick not here.
Okay.
So
that's fair. Anything else you want to talk about in baseball? We got TGFBI coming up. 15-team league. Have you put any thought into your KDS? What pick you want?
Oh, well, I did start a 15-team last week, and it's ugly.
It's hard.
I'm picking out the 8th spot right now, and it's just very difficult. So I'm either looking, I would like to get into the top 5 or the bottom 5. I don't like to be in the middle. The only thing with that is, with a bigger draft, is you have to be aware of what's going on. Obviously, if you are picking at the end of the draft and a closer run starts on the other side of the turn, you're going to end up with Armando Benitez. So you have to make sure that
boy good, bro.
that you have to make sure that you're, try to avoid the runs or actually be part of it when it's happening.
Right. Well, I tend to disagree with you a little bit.
Cool.
Being in the top 5 is obviously, it feels good in the first round, but it feels kind of gross in the second round. I don't like it. I don't like the back end of the second round. Right now in the NFBC, you're seeing closers go there, and then Starlin Marte, pitchers like Urias, Giolito, even Marcus Semien. Like, that's not second round talent to me. That's third, fourth round talent, even fifth on some ends. I'm kind of feeling a little bit better about being at the back end. I started an NFBC league and I got the 13th pick, and I was disgusted by that. And I was disgusted after the first 2 rounds. But here's how it looks right now. I went with Burns in the first round because there was a run on the outfielders. I like the back end because you have that Acuna Trout value spot over there that most people are letting them go into the second round. Not sharp players, but you get Acuna or Trout at the back end of the first or as your second player, it's kind of a gold mine. But so I went Burns in the first, and then took Betts on the comeback because I wanted at least some type of batting average and stolen bases from my first hitter. And then I went with Lindor, who's a staple for us this year. And on the comeback, I took Freddie Peralta. So, 2 Brewers pitchers, that's a little scary. But there's 425 strikeouts from my two starting pitchers right off the bat. I don't know if the win total's there, but 425 strikeouts is pretty sweet. And then I went with Will Smith and Altuve, and that's where I'm at right now through 6. So I kind of like it a little bit, but I'm a little bit of a fan of that middle range because Acuna, Trout, Ohtani are all in play there, and I just don't like the back end of the second round. That's where I'm at with that. But I got a lot more thought to put into it before we get to TGFBI and getting it started. So I mean, if you end up with the first 2 picks, it's pretty easy. Trey and your boy.
I'm worried.
It's pretty easy.
I'm worried about Tatis a little bit. I'm a little worried about it. I actually heard a doctor on RotoWire, and he was talking about it, and they were talking about his shoulder and him not getting the surgery. And every time he plays, there's a 64% chance that he re-injures it on a swing.
With every swing?
Yeah. There's a chance he can hurt it on every swing. It'll just pop, and then it'll be done.
64?
Yeah, this is 64%. It's scary.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
64% beats the VIG, bro. Like, that's what it is. A successful gambler, to beat the minus 110, you have to win 57% of the time.
Yeah.
So if you have a 63% chance of being injured, I'm betting on you being injured, and I will win.
I mean, I'm almost positive I heard that number, but they sounded very.
Even if it was 6.3.
Yeah,
like
very.
It's a lot.
Much concern. So that's why we've been taking Trey before I even heard about that anyway, first, because obviously with that extra, Tatis gives you that extra position as well. But
I don't need him in the outfield.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
Outfield's so deep, man. So, but Trey's 2-position value is immense.
Yeah.
Especially in a best ball. If you're in a best ball and you don't take Trey Turner first, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be a Soto stan, or if the format Ohtani is, if it's daily, Ohtani's obviously number 1 overall, but Trey Turner's the top guy in best ball.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, another thing, obviously with the basketball trade deadline today, I was a little into the trades. So I'm like trying to look at trades. So I decided I was gonna come back and throw out one of my throwback guys. So while
better not be a basketball throwback.
No, it's a baseball show.
All
so
right.
we with the trades, I'm like, oh well, you know what? I'm gonna talk about a guy who also was part of a huge trade as well. So I'm gonna give you the guy. All right. You can't announce it before I even say anything. But all right, so let's see. He 493 career home runs. 5-time All-Star. Career 284 hitter. You there? You think you got it?
Yeah, I got the answer.
Okay.
First base.
Yep.
The crime dog.
Yep. And
Nice.
in 1990, he was traded in the Joe Carter, Roberto Alomar, Tony Fernandez trade.
Great trade.
Yeah.
Great trade.
No, that was one of the huge trades in our time. So it was pretty cool.
More importantly is his performance in the commercial for the Tom Emanski School of Hitting.
I remember that.
with the hat.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good one. So I'll be throwing those out each week, and so we got work.
I think I'm like 4 from my last 4.
Yeah, you're pretty good. So yeah, obviously I'm telling guys that Nick wasn't even born. So, so what else you got working on?
Nothing, man. Just getting ready for TGFBI. I plan on winning it this year. I got Eno Saris in my division again this year, so that's kind of a Debbie Downer a little bit, but I'm going to beat these dudes. I don't kiss rings. I'm ready to go. I'm doing everything I can to prep for a 15-team league right now to get ready to win that. And then we go into, home league season and ramping up to get everybody ready for that.
Yeah, we got to talk some trade and home league. So, all right. It's after February 1st.
Yeah, that's all. You got anything else intelligent you want to add before we get the hell out of here?
No, I'm going to just be a little active on Twitter over the weekend so I can not pay attention so much to the football. And hopefully I won't get too hurt. The knee's recovering, so I'll just ice it up. I'll be ready to go on Sunday.
Nice. All right, so Sunday we're looking for we're rooting for the Rams. We're rooting for Team Rough in the Puppy Bowl. And we're rooting for, I guess, Team Second Son in the gender reveal and the Icky Shuffle without an injury, right?
Yes. Sounds good.
That sounds like a good weekend, man. All right. This has been the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast. I'm at JTrella20. You can find this dude over here, over there, at AMAC22NJ. Trevor, thanks for all you do. Take us on out of here. Peace.
Later.
Later, bro.